afternoon, Muttonistas. After that debacle and a 3-2 loss at home to Real Madrid a week ago, we're back again for more Champions League action in Madrid. We beat Newcastle 4-0. The new signings look good, but this is going to be different gravy. So I'm hoping for a miracle. I'm not really fancying this, but let's hope that City pull off one of their best ever performances away to Real Madrid in the Champions League. Join me for the vlog. Right, Muttonistas, food first before football, and we could not possibly miss out on some of the delicacies that this city has to offer. Food is fantastic here, and it's not too expensive, although I do my best to make it expensive. I'm here with Lucas, a Real Madrid supporter, a Muttonista, who I've met before in Madrid, so I'm getting the real deal, a local guide, and we're going to start off at La Gilderia with vermouth and Gilders. If you don't know what they are, come and have a look and I'll show you. So what we have here, Muttonistas, is a vermouth, which is basically vermouth. It's like a fortified wine with a bit of fruit in it. Think of stuff like Cinzano, Martini, that sort of thing. Olive on a stick inside, and we're having that with some Gilders, which are sticks with olives, peppers, anchovies, sometimes feta cheese, tomato, that sort of thing. Classic Spanish aperitif. Well, here we go. Cheers to City. Come on, City. Make me believe in a miracle. And that is lovely. It is a little sweet, but it's got that hint of bitterness as well. And we've gone for two types of Gilder. This is the classic one. It's got a pepper, it's got olives, and it's got an anchovy. Don't worry, the olives are usually pitted, so you're not going to bite on a stone here. And again, a great combination of saltiness and bitterness from the olives, and anchovies and vermouth they are a match made in heaven. And now, Muttonistas, I think it's sun-dried tomato. I'm guessing the cheese is feta, it looks like it. And there's a little sardine in there, and I'm glad I'm holding this over the counter so that no more of this drips over my shirt. And now, Muttonistas, a real treat. Lucas ordered this ventrusca de atún. It's like a pincho on a piece of bread, Basque style, and it is raw tuna belly sliced thinly. I absolutely adore this stuff. Lucas didn't know that. So let's give that a go. That is absolutely gorgeous. The closest thing you'll see to that in Britain is if you're at a Japanese restaurant and you have tuna belly sushi or sashimi. Very, very similar, but obviously this is done in a Mediterranean style. Better have a quick slurp. And we'll finish this off and move on for further tapas, where we'll talk a little bit more about football. Okay, Muttonistas, sold you another pork pie here. We're actually staying for one more little, well, well, sort of a pincho. It's ensaladilla, which is potato salad with an anchovy on top. It's actually served on a big bread stick, not a piece of bread. And because, of course, I drank my vermouth, we had to order another. Pretty good again, I have to say. No particular mysteries in the taste. I think it's something most of you will have had before. Some sort of potato salad is common nearly everywhere. And it's great actually to be taking these at the counter. So much more fun than going and sitting in a chair and being waiter served. Anyway, that was definitely the last one. We'll finish these, another quick slurp. And we will see you at, I believe, we're going to a place called Casa Geraldo, which I understand is pretty famous. Right, literally 50 metres down the street, Casa Geraldo. Looking forward to this. I've heard so many good things about it. We're going to have some cheese and some other things, and a nice bottle of wine.
En la pastelería. Esto como los risquetos, macho.
Wow, what a place. Now, obviously, all places have their menus, they have their wine lists, but I've not seen a place that has a specific cheese list and a cheese menu. Luckily, Muttonistas, I do like my cheese, so we're going to go large here. Now, sadly, Muttonistas, they didn't have my first choice of wine, which was Pintia, very good Toro wine, but I've gone for something I've not had before, which looked good. Asenjo, a Manso, I think it is, Ribera del Duero 2020. Slightly expensive at 49 euros. I know some of you who drink beer will be horrified by that price, but then again, you're not muttoning it up like I do. That is really tasty, actually. Glad I went for this. By the time it's opened up and the food comes, it'll be an absolute creamer. That wine is drinking beautifully now, Muttonistas. I just had a piece of blue cheese, which is not the best thing to have in your mouth with red wine. Better to have sweet wine, white wine, cider. In fact, cider is a very good match. Anyway, we had Galician empanada. It's like a sort of Galician pie. I think it's got tuna in it here. And these empanadas can vary wildly. Sometimes they're very dry, sometimes they're very moist. This one in between, a bit pastry heavy, but the filling was very moist. Anyway, given that we've got rid of the taste of blue cheese, we'd better have another slurp and taste. Yeah, as I thought, this is absolutely beautiful. Well worth the money. Now then, Muttonistas, the cecina or however you're supposed to pronounce it correctly in Castilian Spanish, air-dried beef, I think. Now, I've never seen it as moist, juicy and fatty as this before, but it looks fantastic. I actually usually steer clear of it because I think, well, I'm in Spain, why should I order a Bresaola substitute? It looks like Bresaola, kind of tastes like it, but this looks like different gravy. And there's always one way to find out. I have to tell you, that is a revelation to me. It's a cross between rare roast beef and dried beef. It is comfortably the best cecina I've ever had. No doubts about it. I know everybody says it's the best they've had because it's the most recent they've had, but this is the best by a country mile. And as they say in Spanish, que maridaje entre el carne, la carne y el vino. Fantastic match between the wine and the food. Oh, I'm in heaven. If only City can be as good as this later. Next up, Muttonistas, smoked salmon on bread with wasabi ice cream. What an interesting combination, and Spanish chefs are so creative, and Lucas has been waxing lyrical about this. And I see what he means. What a fantastic creation. I do love a savoury ice cream, I have to say. And obviously, you've got to have wasabi ice cream if you're having fish, if you're going to have a savoury ice cream. I'm going to refrain from having a slurp with this because I don't think it'll match particularly well, but I'll go back to tomatoes and then have my slurp. Now, Muttonistas, whilst there's a little pause before the cheese course comes, which is the last thing we're going to have, my thoughts about the football today. I think there's been a bit of an overreaction to that 4-0 against Newcastle. I know the new signings did well. I know that Nico Gonzalez, a central defensive midfielder, proved to be a massive upgrade on Gundogan and Kovacic, who are too slow now. But this is different. This is not the same thing. Those individual mistakes at the end of the home match, where we could have come here with a fighting chance with a 2-1 win, have effectively done the match for me. I think it'll be a massive miracle. I know occasionally Real Madrid stink the Bernabeu out and produce an awful performance, like when they played Chelsea, having a 3-1 lead away, going 3-0 down, but somebody always steps up to the plate and rescues Real Madrid. So even if we get into a winning position, the way we're playing, I don't trust us not to make that huge mistake with a big crowd and atmosphere there to let them back in. I hope I'm wrong, I really do, and I do hope that we produce the performance of a lifetime. I just don't see it coming. Anyway, Muttonistas, before the cheese comes, I'm match fit. Come on, City. First of all, the salsa or chutney made from red peppers, blue cheese from Asturias, idiazabal, which is a Basque cheese. I hope I've not butchered the pronunciation. Another hard cheese, this is the one I couldn't work out, a goat's cheese, and I think these were both sheep's cheeses actually. Goat's cheese and a goat's cheese made with ash. That looks soft, smelly and lovely. From my sight, I think that's going to be my favourite, but who knows. Classic goat's cheese, bit of smokiness. I predict still that's going to be my favourite. On to the next goat's cheese. And that's actually really quite strong. I'm not going to have wine with it because it will clash, so a bit of the chutney instead. Caramelised red peppers, which are naturally sweet, so they've not had to add anything to it, which is great. Onto the hard cheeses. Very much like a French Alpine cheese. This is the one, I'm sorry, I don't know the name of. Definitely a cheese that deserves a quick slurp. And there's a good match. I have to remind you all, it's the hard cheeses that are best with red wine. The soft cheeses, the strong smelly ones, not so much, even though people mistakenly believe that the stronger the cheese, the more red wine suitable it is. It's the opposite. And I know this food segment is dragging on as it tends to do in my videos, Muttonistas, but the idiazabal, because it's such a famous cheese. And in fact, you can make some nice desserts with this. Hard but creamy, not that strong, again, good with red wine. And finally, the blue cheese from Asturias, which I think is Picos Blue. It looks like it, though they didn't say it was. Yeah, very nice, a bit salty, quite soft and creamy, I'd say. I'd say like a soft creamy gorgonzola, the closest thing I can think of, but it's a great end to the meal, and I'll see you at the pub before the Bernabeu when hopefully I'll bring you the team news, and you never know with Guardiola what sort of teams he's going to pick and what surprises he'll spring. Okay, Muttonistas, as you know, in the Real Madrid stadium you can't get any drinks. Some places just outside serving lager, decent lager in plastic cups. But I thought I'd pop into a bar called the Triskel Tavern, where a lot of you have asked me to come and review. But you know the rules, you're getting sloppy seconds here because the first gulp goes for my Instagram account. Okay, Muttonistas, would I be so rude? Would I be so rude? I have ordered another pint, and there's a good reason for that. And that reason is it's a creamer. It is a great pint. I never would have thought I could get such a good pint in Madrid because I've had so many absolute shockers over here. But if you're in Madrid and you want a pint, come to the Triskel. It really is good. I'm not hyping it up, I'm not exaggerating. Anyway, Muttonistas, on to the team news. And there's a bit of a shock as usual. You never know what Pep Guardiola's going to do. And first of all, the Real Madrid team, it's about what you'd expect, and Rudiger has recovered from injury and comes back, so adds a bit of steel and experience to their defence, so that's not great news for City. But we've got Edison back in goal, Kuzanov, I think it's right that these people get experience, pacey defenders, we need the pace, but we need them to be composed as well. Ruben Dias, Johnny Stones and Gvardiol, so I'm not sure who's playing at left back here. Nico is playing. That's good because we need him to have another performance like he did against Newcastle. We have got Gundogan and Bernardo. Some have said their legs have gone, but maybe we just need their experience. Phil Foden, Savinho had a good game against Newcastle, but here's the big shock, no Erling Haaland, and Marmoush starts instead of Haaland. Maybe he thought he couldn't risk both of them starting. Anyway, he knows better than I do. Maybe this is a worthwhile gamble, even if it goes wrong. We never know what system we're going to be playing or seeing until it actually unfolds. Pep Guardiola, of course, knows better than we do. Anyway, I'll have a quick slurp and I'll finish my pint and head off to the Bernabeu. So, come on, City. Give us that surprise that we're all not expecting. Give us a memorable evening in Europe. And some people have asked me for my score prediction, and I think probably 3-1 to Real Madrid. But let's see what happens. Look at yesterday's results. It's funny things can happen in a game, even if you're chasing away from home. Obviously a ground I know pretty well. I usually go to one of the small bars for a pint beforehand. No time now, unfortunately. And it looks even more modern than last year. So here we go, 4th year in a row. We've won here before. Come on, City, you can do it again. Well, there we are. City started okay. I know it's only 4 minutes in, but they waited for mistakes. They don't press us all the way down to the keeper. They play a mid-press against us today, or they are playing one, and they just waited for a mistake, given they're a goal ahead. They got one, and Mbappe lobbed the keeper. 1-0 to Real Madrid. And to make matters worse, John Stones has gone down in a heap. Let's hope he's not injured. Let's hope it's not yet another serious injury for him.
Primer cambio en el Manchester City. Se retira con el 5, Stones.
Hesitation. Well, it's looking a long way off now. There's some skillful stuff there, but a horrible hesitation from, I think it was Guardiola, and there's no way that Mbappe should have been in there on goal. Nice footwork to take it at the end, but another terrible mistake. 2-0 Real Madrid. So half-time, Real Madrid 2, City 0. It's a mountain to climb. It's Mount Everest to climb. But occasionally they do stink out this place with some shocking performances. I think that's our best hope. Maybe we can change stuff off the bench. Kevin De Bruyne, Erling Haaland. But two problems here. At the back, people are not picking up runners. They're slipping. They're not heading balls. And up front, there's no movement. It's static. Something's got to change, and probably there's no way back anyway, but I think Pep has to gamble. I'm going to leave it at that, and I'll see you for the second half. The space. Okay, another good finish from Mbappe, but wow, how did he find so much space? Where was the defence? And of course, we were attacking, just allowed them to counter again. It is most definitely game over now. Well, there's going to be a goal check here. It was a lovely free kick. I couldn't see who was who there, but I do wonder whether people were offside here. I don't know what's going to happen here. It doesn't matter much anyway. Well, it's been given. Nico Gonzalez gets his City account off, and great cheer from all the City fans here. Okay, Muttonistas, what a disaster that was. City not at the races at all there, and well done to Real Madrid. They totally deserved to go through. I'm not sure how good they are this season, because we've made teams like Sporting and Juventus look like world beaters, and they've crashed out as well. But as we know, Madrid do tend to improve towards the end of the season and time their run very well. We'll see, because they'll have a much more difficult match next time out. But again, what a defensive mess City are in. It was awful, truly awful. Took 4 minutes for Edison and Diaz between them to screw up. I know everybody's going on about Diaz, but I'm not sure about Edison being that far off his line there as well. Somebody with more knowledge can maybe correct me. and indeed for the third, Edison again. But the worst thing about it was we couldn't recycle the ball forward at all. It was slow, lethargic, static, no movement yet again. I will say, though, that the lineup was probably a bit of an experiment, and given the situation we were in because of the screw-ups in the home leg, well, maybe then it was worth a gamble. So I can't go in too hard about this performance. So I'm going to stop talking about football after that, because we've got Liverpool up next, which is hard, and at least some of our key players didn't actually play, like De Bruyne and Haaland. Tough schedule in the league coming up as well. Need to make sure we come 4th or 5th, so we're in this competition again. But the big bonus you've got, Muttonistas, is you're getting another food segment. A large Cruz Campo, Patatas Bravas, a Spanish classic with beer, and Chapitos, which are baby squids. And of course, Bravas come in 2 sauces, usually a spicy sauce and also an aioli. Yeah, not bad at all. A random find, this place, near the Tirso Molina metro station, which happens to be very close to my hotel, because I've got a busy day tomorrow as well. Just try one with the aioli. Beautifully cooked potatoes, not overcooked and quite crisp. And of course, it is one of the joys of being in Spain that you can eat this late. Now, the baby squid, lightly battered citrus step, very refreshing, very, very, very tender as well. Some of you think squid is always rubbery, not so. And a quick slurp. And before you all say, oh, Mutton, you keep, shall we say, putting down English food and you're having deep-fried seafood in batter and what have you. Well, it is a good way of cooking seafood. Bit of salt, just to liven up the baby squid, and of course lots of citrus. And I do actually like fish and chips as well, just not when it's overcooked with that heavy batter. Anyway, I'm going to love you and leave you, and unfortunately I will not be making any football vlogs for 2 months because I'm away in Asia for 2 months. So I missed a Liverpool game, a stack of other games, well, at least no more European games, but I think Aston Villa at home might be my next one, not sure yet. But I will have lots of food and travel vlogs to keep you entertained in the meantime. So until then, Muttonistas, please remember, keep liking, keep sharing, keep subscribing, but most of all, don't forget, you can't beat a bit of mutton.